Hello there, folks. Here I am outside here doing some work on the old Ford. Pretty old Ford. I got an older one. Well, anyway, I'm out here today to have a little bit of fun with you folks and to plant a seed inside your head. This is not going to be a very long video. It's going to be a fairly short video because it won't take me long to plant that seed. But what happens after that, of course, will take much longer. I want that seed to grow and grow and grow inside your head. And then I want you to head outside and I want you to let that seed continue to grow and turn into a nice little mini lesson for you right in your own yard or driveway. Now, this lesson starts with this crazy little tool right here. Isn't it cute? I thought you would like it. I rather like this tool myself. What is it? Well, it's a little tool called a ratchet. What does it do? Well, it turns a bolt head or a screw head, depending on what you're working on. And you'll see that the little end right here is the shape of a screw head or bolt head. It's hexagonal if you look at that carefully. Okay. And then what you do is you put that on the bolt and you turn it back and forth. And this little baby turns in one direction, but not the other. And you, in this case, you are loosening something. Or if you flip this little gizmo this way, there. Now you are tightening something. So now you are saying to yourself, okay, big deal. Why is this? We're grade 4 students. What's the guy showing us tools for? Although that is rather a nice tool. Well, I'm showing you tools, and I'm showing you specifically this little ratchet tool because I also want to show you this. Wow, I almost hit myself in the head with that one. This ratchet tool. What in the world? Look at this one. Look at the size of that. Can you believe it? Incredible. And guess what? It's virtually the same tool. Isn't that incredible? I mean, this is a monstrous sized ratchet. Possibly one of the largest you have seen. It's the largest one I own, actually. But I'm showing it to you, or both to you, because I want you to see them both together. Look. I'm going to have a hard time doing this with one hand. I'm going to try my best. There they are side by side. Isn't that amazing? Why is that interesting? Well, I'm hoping you think like I do. I find that interesting just because it is. To see something so enormously large beside the same sort of thing, so itty-bitty small, really is interesting because you say to yourself, wow, how can they both work? Are there things in nature that are that way too? Well, yes, there are. And the rest of this video will be me trying to show you some other examples of incredible differences in size, and yet things that are designed rather similarly. So come on along with me. Let's look around a little bit, and we will look in the yard and the forest nearby and have some fun. Now, if I'm going to be measuring, I better make sure that I have some sort of device that's going to help me do that. So I've brought along another tool, my vernier caliper. I've got one of these in class too. You've seen it. This is a little bit of a smaller one, but it's still a very nice one. I've decided also, we'll be heading off into the yard in a second. I'm going to be finding the smallest flower I can and the largest flower I can. These are natural growing wildflowers, mind you, in the yard. And I also want to find the smallest maple leaf I can find, the largest maple leaf I can find on the same tree, the smallest plant, and the largest plant. Okay, maybe the smallest creature and largest creature also. I'll see if I have enough time for that. So these are some interesting things I can look for, and this little gizmo will help me. And then once again, I apologize for the funny, fuzzy camera work. So, smallest and largest. Let's get going. Alrighty, let's be fair. If we're going to measure the biggest and smallest flowers we can find, we're going to have to determine what the rules are for measuring those flowers. If we want to measure the flower in its entirety, we would have to say the flower would have to be not a bud of a flower, but a flower actually fully open to the sun. Now, I've got a lot of small buds I've located here, but I've looked and looked, and I think I've found what I think so far is my smallest flower, which is fully opened and bloomed. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can bring in the camera and show it to you. Okay, so it's right down here. Okay, just a moment. There it is right there. That's the one. I'm going to zoom in as best I can. Oh, look at that flower. It's incredible. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I apologize. There it is. Okay, can I get a focus on that? I'm going to try to bring in my caliper without even really hardly touching that. Oh, look at that. Oh, where is it? This is kind of fun. I'm actually focusing, and I'm doing this caliper work, not with my eye, but with the camera. I'm actually looking. Oh, careful. Don't want to hurt it. There it is. I think that's a pretty, there I am. That's a pretty good measurement, wouldn't you say? What's my measurement? Oh my God, 4 millimeters. Wow, 4 millimeters. That's incredible. Here are some nice specimens. Now remember, we could most likely find larger flowers than this at a florist shop, but we're not talking about flowers you can buy. We're talking about flowers that were planted by nature and growing in nature without anybody's help at all. So these are quite beautiful flowers, also in my own backyard, and they're rather larger. So as I bring in the caliper, you'll see that the caliper is opened up far more substantially. I'm going to measure this one, which is the largest one on the plant. It's a little too small, just a moment. Just a little bit bigger. All right. And I find that one to be, that's 2.8 centimeters. So I think after much looking, I believe I've found the smallest specimens of maple leaf. And I've got my hand behind here because the camera's having a hard time focusing on them even. Now I'm going to see if I can take my hand away for a second. You can see that there's even some spidery web clinging to them. I'm going to bring in my calipers, just a moment. And I'm going to show you that, oh, look at the size of that one. Oh, isn't that amazing? So it's about, okay, that's 1.123. That's almost exactly 1.5. See the top scale? That's 1.5 centimeters or 15 millimeters wide for that tiny, tiny little maple leaf. Isn't that just a perfect specimen? Come on. There. Fabulous. Alrighty, here I am again. This is the same tree. Now on the same tree, you're gonna see that I've got another beautiful leaf. I've looked around carefully and I believe I found the largest one. And you'll see that I'm in some very big trouble because as I bring my calipers up to it, you'll see that my calipers are maxed out. They can't even measure that one. Look, I've got my calipers up to 12 centimeters and at 12, there's my doggy, and at 12 centimeters, they can't even do it. Now I'm looking for my smallest fully formed plant. And now when I say a fully formed plant, what I'm trying to say is a plant that is coming out of the ground. I love my dog. Coming out of the ground. And it's got leaves going in different directions. It has opened those leaves to the sun. And it is thriving and growing already. That's what I would consider to be a fully formed plant. Now I've looked around, I've actually crawled around for a bit, and I believe I found my smallest one. So I'm going to see if I can pull it. Where is it now? Oh, I lost it. No, I got it. I'm going to pull in closely. Do you see it's right in the center of the frame right there? I believe that is my smallest fully formed plant. And now just a second, that's about as close as I can focus. I'm going to stop right there. Now I'm going to bring in my calipers. Oh, there they are. I'm going to measure across those leaves. Right there. That's actually pretty good. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now up to my vernier caliper, and it is measuring a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit more than 4 millimeters across. 4 millimeters across for that entire plant. That's measured at its widest point. Now I think I've found my biggest, but I'm going to have to be super careful with this one because as you can probably see, this particular one is not growing in the ground exactly. Well, it is, but it's growing in the ground adjacent to a little bit of swampiness there. There's some water right back there. And I'm not quite in my backyard, but I'm not far away. I'm just down the trail a little bit. Now, I wonder if you can get an idea of how large this plant is. That leaf up here, let me just see, that leaf right there is connected to this one, this one, this one, and not this one, but the one below it, this one. So that's one plant. And of course, my caliper is dead useless here. So I'm going to see if I can throw my measuring tape across this. Just a second, I'm gonna get this out now. Oh gosh, please measuring tape, don't fail me now. Okay, so I'm gonna go from the tip of that leaf over there to the tip of this leaf right over here. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, can you see it? That's 45 inches. 45 inches is, oh gosh, I gotta calculate this. There's 1 meter, of course, right here. So that's 1 meter and 10. That's 1 meter and 14 and a half centimeters. And of course, 1 meter is 100. So that's 114 and a half centimeters. That's really big. Okay, now if you don't believe me, I'm going to pull this measuring tape in and put it in my pocket. I'm just going to see, because these are actually considered to be rather noxious weeds. I'm going to just see if I can borrow one of those leaves. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, I just borrowed one of the leaves off that plant. Just a second. Now I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around. There. Okay, here's the camera. Here I am. Here's the leaf. Now there's the leaf and there's my head. Can you see this? Isn't that quite incredible? Boy, I wish you were here too, because I'm pretty sure that what I've just come across is a skunk cabbage, because, oh boy, wow, that is really quite an incredible smell. It's bigger than my head, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, fantastic. An incredible specimen. I'm on my way back from my skunk cabbage leaf adventure, but I said to myself, okay, what about this challenge? I'm going to see the smallest insect I can find along this railing. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and I got to my very last picket right here, and I think I've got him. Now, of course, I have no doubts that there are far smaller creatures on this picket, because of course there are insects that are so small that I can barely see them with my naked eye. However, I'm pretty proud of myself because I've come across this beautiful little spider in his web. Do you see his? It's hard to see his web. I'm going to zoom in if I can. Oh, come on. He's fabulous. You can see a portion of his web there, and you can see a portion of him. Now, I'm going to have to be super careful because I don't want to disturb his web. I'm going to just slip my feet. There he goes. Do you see him? There he goes. Look at him. Okay, once again, this is a job for my crazy caliper, and I'm going to have to be super careful I don't disturb this poor little guy or damage his web in any way. But I'm going to try to get my caliper out, and I'm going to try to hold the camera. Oh gosh, it's hard. While I zoom in, I'm already zoomed, and measure this little fellow. So this will give you an idea of how small we, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, this is going to be hard. Just a second. I'm going to try to do this the way I did the other one. I'm going to do it through the lens as opposed to, oh, there it is. Oh, there he is. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh gosh. Look at the little guy. That's even a bit big, isn't it? Because I got to get closer. Just smaller. There he is right there. See him? There he is. That's him. Oh, sorry, little dude. Didn't mean to bonk you there. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up and, oh, look at that. Well, that shows you 1 millimeter. All right. I know a lot of you will be screaming and screaming. This is not a fair comparison. And I agree. It's not a fair comparison. But we're just out here trying to learn and have fun, aren't we? And do some measurement also. Now, of course, I said that I was looking for the smallest insect on that railing. And a spider's not an insect, it's an arachnid. I know a lot of you caught that. And I'm going to be showing you some insects in a second. And that's not a fair comparison, is it? Okay, fine. So maybe we're not being as scientific as we need to be. But, and when you see this too, you will shriek and say that it's not fair either. But hear me out now. This is, in some sort of way, a living thing as well, although it takes lots of insects to make this up. Here's what I want to show you on my very own lawn. Check this out. Right there. Do you see it? That's an anthill. That is one anthill, an ant colony. Now, I wonder if you can get an idea for the size of this. And I can't even begin to imagine how many ants are inside this colony. It's just unbelievable. Now I'm going to get out my gigantic measuring tape like I did last time. I'm going to see if I can measure across the widest part of this anthill. You'll be shocked to see that it's actually a significant size. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to lay the measuring tape down across this. Boy, if I really wanted to do something fun, I would put some bait out and see if I could bait these little guys up onto the surface so I could take a look at them. You see some of them coming out sometimes depending on the heat. Okay, there we go. So that's over at the very terminus of it on that side. And I come right along and I get to, oh, isn't that funny? That's almost the same size as that plant. That's a little bit more than 4 feet. I would say we're getting closer to 50 inches, which it puts it at, let's see, what is that? That's 127 centimeters. Isn't that right? Okay, 127 centimeters across. That's actually a significant size for a living thing. Is an anthill a living thing? Well, it's certainly full of living things. And let me see if I can prove it to you that this is actually a very, very active anthill. I'm scanning around for one of the inhabitants, and I find there's absolutely nothing. So you're saying, oh, Metelgen, come on. That's nothing at all. That's a patch of nasty looking grass in your lawn. Wait a second. I won't damage it very much. I'll just dig a little bit and I'll see if, oh, look at this. Did you see that? I just dug a little bit and oh, they were not very happy. Look at them. Look at them. Did you see that? Ah, a job well done. I'm back here at the old Ford. Still not fixed. But anyway, I think I've done a pretty good job of finding some interesting things of different sizes. Hope you've really enjoyed that. And like I said, I hope I've planted a seed in some sort of way so that you can also go out to your yard or driveway or both, or maybe an adjacent little woodlot you have somewhere, and give yourself a challenge or challenges of the same type. Find something monstrously huge and find something extraordinarily small. Personally, I love the extraordinarily small ones. They're just amazing to me. But anyway, I hope you will have all the fun that I have had doing this little activity and more so. So nice to see you.